you, Stephen. Thank you, English Pen. I've been intrigued by the use of the word on. I think I've been trying to write for Omar Hazek, and I imagine that's been true for many of us. So this is in some spirit of what it would mean to be for Omar Hazek. Omar Hazek is a writer. I think it would be fair to say he's a lyric poet. He was formerly employed by the Library of Alexandria in Egypt. And since the overthrow of Mubarak in February 2011, he was outspoken in allegations of corruption in the Library of Alexandria, whose official ahead of the Board of Trustees was former First Lady Suzanne Mubarak. And you can perhaps imagine that that was not altogether popular in various ways. He was arrested in 2013 along with a number of other activists for protesting without permission, the same crime that we were hearing about in the previous section. And he was tried and he was put in prison on the basis of almost nothing, I think it would be fair to say. It's a moving story. And the good news is that he was granted freedom and in September 2015 and was released shortly afterwards. He's still under a ban and was barred from leaving Egypt, had a prize that he was prevented from giving. And if I had more time, I would read this speech which he wrote, which he was prevented from giving, a moving speech. But I think he's actually rather a fragile lyric poet, not much inclined to political gestures in his poetry, at least not yet, and who knows quite what some time in prison might do to a fragile lyric poet who used to work in the Library of Alexandria. So my poem is called Outspoken. It has in it various worked fragments of poems by Omar Hazek, and I'm trying to think about what it would mean to write in solidarity with a writer who you don't know. It became important for me to think what kinds of gestures of solidarity other writers he had felt himself capable of making. He writes poems for Cavafy, for Lorca, and for individuals whom he knows. But it seemed to me that Lorca and Cavafy were two interesting kind of figures that I might kind of think about in relation to my own sense of solidarity with such writers. So there's a little bit of Cavafy in here, as well as some of Omar Hazek's poetry. It has an epigraph. In my songs, the sea is azure. Even in Alexandria, the lichens do not speak, do not do televised azure in folded oblivion, or as some rift of dissident lung, and writes what writes, what spokes of broken mediation, what planet car gone harsh in sulfuric salt. How our peripheral industry sows its productive horizon under cover of shy darkness, lit for the invading reader and the edge for system ton. The legal recourse counts for zip, gone windy murmurations in the contrails blinding birds. The very flinch become a silver lining doing as corruption gives, is, springs for markets, or contractual patter done into state wither. But white lies matter. White lies and public shrouds, the truth log talking up into media and so cut to purpose. Reason stands to argue, the shunts, soon enough, severed into such broke whispers, never to sign up for an open source duster with an extraction fan for oxygen. Trade that, and you trade the very conditions there as some mirror of all in the burnt air, an evolutionary advantage inscribed in twigs, in judges, and paid hands embracing cover-ups before turning to the philology of rope song. The candle flickers with mischief. The wax is not yet made of humans, nor of each still burning library, the carbon stanza and melt waters that the corrupt so scarcely know. Up close and lichened, mispronounced bouquet. On in darkest maths, the so-so death gag is in good standing. The city of Cavafy can still stir for something other than the news of noun clowning, noun cloning in the press pack stung to pith by fresh allegation mounting evidence of complicity. As the cities spread their plastic toys over the beach of broken tombeaux, shelf on shelf, where the grammarians encounter their makers, where the fleeing peoples bear the bodies of children on their backs and press on to live. The aperture and blur flares, do shallow depths and fields compromising in every detail, with the sour ideals dancing over pea soups and tail coma. Let the record show the soon productivity of lichens does air strains by so many % to sulfur dioxide and the very art of mines, making good to fix the nitrogen of publicity, and then some cold tracer, burning star.